Tim Burton's Wednesday Addams has become the most watched English-language series on Netflix, and Jenna Ortega, who plays the main character, is a new superstar. The adventures of the grim, pigtailed girl at the Nevermore Academy stirred up nostalgia among fans of the Addams Family, and many rushed to compare Ortega's character with the canon for the 1990s generation of the heroine Christina Ricci. However, the history of the Addams Family is much longer, and their appearance has undergone several transformations. In this video, we'll analyze how the images of the creepy but incredibly charming Wednesday Addams, which have become an integral part of pop culture, have changed. Make sure you watch the whole video to find out in which dress Wednesday performed her viral dance. How did the Addams come about? The Grimm family was fathered by cartoonist Charles Addams, who lived from 1912 to 1988, who grew up in an old Victorian mansion on Elm Street in Westfield, New Jersey. His house became the prototype of the Gothic dwelling of famous characters. Addams was distinguished by eccentric behavior from his youth. He, for example, slept in a coffin and liked to have picnics in cemeteries. The first untitled comic book about the Addams family appeared in the pages of the popular weekly The New Yorker. The picture showed a vacuum cleaner salesman trying to sell his wares to a vampire-like pale brunette in a tight black dress, who would later take the name Morticia and change her hairstyle. Behind the mistress of the mansion stands a bearded giant, the future Lurch, and from the second floor, an ominous girl with long hair, Wednesday's predecessor. She's watching what is happening. Since then, the artist has drawn scenes from the bizarre, rich Addams family's life, rethinking the concept of the ideal American family with irony and black humor. Over time, she grew into the owner of the Gomez mansion, Pugsley's son, Uncle Fester, brother of the family's patriarch, their mammon and pet thing, the existing hand itself. At the same time, these characters received names and detailed characteristics only in 1963, when work began on the script for the television adaptation of the popular comic. Wednesday. In the original Charles Addams comics, the youngest daughter of Morticia and Gomez is a gloomy girl obsessed with death and the many attempts to kill her brother Pugsley as a form of entertainment. She rarely shows emotion on her pale face, with a high forehead framed in long black braids. She wears a school uniform, like black dress with a turned-down white collar, black stockings, and black shoes. Charles Addams named the daughter of Morticia and Gomez Wednesday, inspired by the line from the popular English folk song Monday's Child. Wednesday's child is full of woe. He who was born on Wednesday is bitter, will be full of grief. In the David Levy television series, she was played by 6-year-old Lisa Loring. The girl at the time of filming did not even know how to read and simply repeated the words that adults said to her before turning on the camera. A lovely creature with pigtails in a black dress with white buttons, with a Peter Pan collar. She was far from the gloomy original and rather resembled an ordinary American first grader, albeit not without eccentric predilections. A capable dancer, Wednesday, the scene where she teaches the butler, Lurch, how to dance became a meme long before the word was spread, grows spiders and adores her doll, Marie Antoinette, who is regularly guillotined by her brother, Pugsley. In 1977, 19-year-old Loring appeared in the Halloween tribute with the new Addams Family. Here, curvaceous Wednesday in a dark blue school uniform still doesn't part with her puppet, Marie Antoinette, and entertains guests by playing the flute while looking both seductive and comical. In the cartoons of the 1970s, Wednesday loosened her braids, spoke in the voice of the sitcom star Cindy Henderson, and wore an ultra-pink dress, which, of course, did not go well with the original character of a melancholic gloom. No wonder Morticia says in the series the phrase, "Wednesday will grow up and turn into a sweet, cheerful girl." Later, in the 1990s animated series, the Addams heiress, voiced by Debbie Derryberry, an actress who specializes in voicing cartoons, anime, and video games, was dressed in a less flashy blue dress and pink tights, and the heroine's most malicious antics were left behind the scenes. 11-year-old Christina Ricci returned to the roots of Wednesday, making this character a cult in modern times and the most popular image at Halloween parties. Ricci actively participated in the creation of the character. For example, she came up with the idea that her character sleeps with her arms crossed on her chest. The audience instantly fell in love with the unique combination of sarcastic bile, sophisticated mind, and childish charm. Since Wednesday is a child, costume designer Ruth Myers decided not to dress her in overly somber total black. The only time the girl appears in all black is in the ball scene, where she appears in a mini copy of Morticia's dress. Her main attire, a simple dress with a signature white collar, was made from vintage Edwardian-era fabric with white pins and needles, a symbolic reflection of the younger Addams' taunts. The Gothic style of the look is also matched by skull-shaped stud earrings, handmade according to sketches by Ruth Myers. And for the Halloween party, Wednesday puts on a slightly more festive version, embroidery on a white collar, brocade-like fabric of her usual dress. At the same time, when asked where her fancy dress is, the girl who never smiles answers with all seriousness, "This is my costume. I am a homicidal maniac. They look just like everyone else." Actress and model Nicole Fougeire has donned Wednesday's image twice, in Addams Family Reunion and The New Addams Family. A 12-year-old girl with a demonic face beyond her age generally adopted Ricci's interpretation. Her heroine is a melancholic sociopath with sadistic tendencies, who shows her emotions more easily and brightly. Wednesday Fougeire, like many of her predecessors, also wears a simple dark dress with a white pointed collar, but its fabric is plain, without prints. But suddenly, Pugsley becomes a fashionista. In The New Addams Family, he's dressed in a suit with a shirt, and he even has a neckerchief. In the recent cartoons by Conrad Vernon and Greg Tiernan of Universal Studios, at the center of the crisis of growing up Wednesday, Chloe Grace Moretz gave her voice, the search for identity, style, and roots, which leads to inevitable conflicts and quarrels with Morticia. Having made new friends at school, the goth girl thinks about what she wants to become a normal teenager and changes her style, choosing pink. However, after going through a series of misadventures, Wednesday comes to the conclusion that the most important thing is to be yourself. As a result, the heroine remains true to her dark gray dress, with a white turned-down collar and cuffs. Only pigtails now resemble ropes braided into playful loops. Next, we'll take a look at Tim Burton's Wednesday Addams image. If you're enjoying this video so far, be sure to like the video and subscribe to our channel for more videos. In the TV series Wednesday, horror star Jenna Ortega has the most voluminous image of all the on-screen incarnations of the cult heroine. The daughter of Gomez and Morticia is expelled from a regular school for another trick, and her parents send her to the Nevermore Academy, where they once studied themselves. Wednesday is no longer a little girl. She is 16 years old. She's a brilliant swordsman, skilled in archery, martial arts, and masterfully plays the cover of Paint It Black by the Rolling Stones on the cello. She also writes her first detective novel and investigates a chain of bloody murders at the Academy. That is, unlike her predecessors, Wednesday lives a very busy life. All this was reflected in her appearance. Burton and Atwood wanted to freshen up Wednesday's appearance and make it less cliched. They came up with short bangs and freckles to soften the look and highlight the girl's vulnerability. In the canonical dress with a white collar, Wednesday appears only at the beginning. Atwood made small changes here too, lengthening and sharpening the collar. The print of the fabric has also changed. Instead of needles, it has flowers that look like skulls from a distance. The same homage to the classic dress is Wednesday's black coat in a similar strict silhouette with a floral print. In Wednesday's films, there was not much screen time, so her wardrobe was not full of variety. Colleen Atwood's team had to come up with everything that the heroine wears at the Academy from scratch. The artist wanted to emphasize that Wednesday is still a teenage girl who, despite her gloominess, also experiments with fashion. Instead of emphasizing Victorian and Edwardian styles, Atwood took the 1950s and 60s costumes and mixed them with what teenagers wear today. Part of the inspiration for her and Jenna Ortega was the style of teen idol Billie Eilish. Today's Wednesday is oversized, graphic striped and plaid jumpers, bomber jackets, hoodies, platform boots, wedge sneakers. all in your favorite black and white, of course. At the same time, parents obviously don't save on their daughter's wardrobe. A sharp eye can distinguish an L.K. Bennett leather jacket, a Miu Miu cardigan, a Zara jumper, Prada boots, and Naked Wolf sneakers. Once at the academy, Wednesday is forced to wear a uniform, but because she is allergic to the color, instead of the purple and black stripes adopted at Nevermore, she was prepared in monochrome. First, Atwood tried different striped fabrics for Wednesday's uniform. Everything looked flat on camera. Then, the artist painted black stripes on a gray fabric using a stencil, shading them a little. As a result, Wednesday's uniform does not have stripes of the same color, which added volume to the suit. It differs from the rest of the participants in details. The jacket is more fitted than the rest. The hem of Wednesday's skirt is shorter in front than in the back, and when moving, you can see that its folds also consist of different stripes. Perhaps the most memorable look is the prom dress in which Wednesday performed her viral dance. Atwood originally wanted something early Dior for the scene, but when she saw Alaya's evening gown in a shop window in London's Bond Street, she knew she had found what she had been looking for. Crafted from multiple layers of black and brown nylon, this dress looked great in motion and on camera, reflected the light superbly, and needed only the tiniest tweaks. Atwood's team tweaked the décolletage a little, adding a signature collar, and reduced the number of frills at the waist so petite Jenna Ortega could be seen in the middle shot. Everything that happened next, you know. The series is wildly popular. The characters have the unconditional love of the audience, who have adopted new images of the characters, including the transformation of Wednesday Addams into a girl with bangs and a sharply fashionable wardrobe. Her dance at the school prom caused a wave of imitations. We're waiting for replenishment in the costumes of the upcoming proms and Halloween parties and, of course, the second season of Burton's Wednesday. That wraps up the list of Wednesday Addams images. Which character do you like more, Jenna Ortega's or Christina Ricci's canon for the 1990s generation? Let us know in the comments. Also, if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and subscribe to Filmsverse for more.